Well, this is every computer user's nightmare. Instead of seeing and hearing the computer boot up, you get nothing. Well, let's not panic. Let's try a couple things first. Let's try the reset button. Nothing. Power button. Nothing. Let's try holding down the power button. Well, that turned the machine off. Maybe that fixed it. Nope. Though all seems lost, there are a few things we can try before calling for last rites. Since I don't think it's the motherboard, I'm going to disconnect everything, open it up, and check to make sure everything is seated right. So, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, once all the power is turned off of course, is to reach around back and disconnect all the cables. Now, I just need a spot to work on this guy. This looks like a good spot, and there's a monitor there that I can use for testing. Now that I have it on the desk, I can start by cleaning off as much of the dust as I can. Ugh. Not sure if the camera can see it, but this thing was filthy. Now that all the surface dust is off, I can focus on removing the side panel so I can get in there and find out what's wrong. To do that, I have a few screws here to take out. And with the magic of editing and a standard screwdriver, this will be done in no time. Now I can slide the panel right off, revealing the guts of this machine. Now, before I start handling anything inside the machine, I have to protect the sensitive components inside from static discharge, so I'll use this anti-static wrist strap. You can get these pretty much at any electronics store. I got mine at Best Buy for under $10. To make sure I'm grounded, I'll be attaching myself to this hard drive case, which is plugged into this power strip below. I'll just clip the strap like so, and we're off. Here we can see the rat's nest of cables covering the rest of the machine. Nothing really looks out of place here, but the inside of the machine is really dirty. So, I guess the next step is to take this outside and give it a good cleaning. So the machine has been brought outside because I'm sure as soon as I start blowing the dust off of this thing, it's going to look like a Mythbusters explosion. Got my can of air ready here, and my anti-static wrist strap, which I'm going to attach to the case, and then I'm going to touch the case to make sure that everything's discharged. So the first thing I'm going to clean is the CPU. In order to do that, I'm going to stick my finger right in between the blades, Then stick the can inside and pull the trigger. That way the CPU fan doesn't get damaged from spinning wildly. So now it's just a matter of blowing the rest of the dust out of the case. But if your computer is as dirty as mine, this might take a while. So let's fast forward a bit. Oh, and don't forget to clean the power supply. You would be surprised just how much dust the fans in there will actually suck in. Oh, and speaking of fans, don't forget to clean those too. Oh, yuck. Look at all that dust. My poor machine was suffocating. Okay, now that I've blown all the dust out of this machine and it's somewhat cleaner, I can go ahead and take it inside and lay it down. Oh, and before you start poking around, make sure you discharge yourself with the anti-static strap. Anyway, here I am checking the cables to make sure that everything's plugged in, everything's seated, everything's tight. And once I'm done with the cables, I can do the same thing with your expansion cards, just to make sure that everything's pushed down. Oh, looks like the power cable on the USB 3 card in here is a little loose. No worries, I'll just go ahead and push that back in. Funny, I don't think that would cause the computer to not post, but you never know. Anyway, once I'm done with the cards, I can go ahead and make sure that all the other cables are connected. Yep. Oh, and don't forget the RAM. That's the two little cards that are underneath that rat's nest there. And yep, just apply a little pressure. And there you go. Once you're satisfied that everything's seated right, we can go on to actually testing to make sure that everything works. Hopefully. Keep fingers crossed. Since I'm just testing to make sure the computer will at least post, I'm only going to need two connections, power and monitor. In this case VGA, but if you had a DVI or HDMI connections, you could also use that too. So, I'm going to plug the VGA cable into the video card. Just like that. And give it some juice. Make sure you have the plug oriented in the right way, otherwise it won't fit. There we go. Now to see if this works. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, I guess it helps if I turn it on. Okay, take two. 3, 2, 1. Come on. I see the lights blinking. Come on. You can do this. Come on. The suspense is agonizing. Yay! It's posted. Not only has it posted, it looks like it's trying to load the operating system. Well, one of a few that I have on here. Anyway, looks like it's working. So, looks like I just need to put it right back together again. Once the computer's turned off and the cable's disconnected, you can slide the panel back in. If you look along the top here and the bottom, you'll notice these guides. And they should fit right here along the top and bottom of the panel. Just gotta line up the guides like that. Sort of. There we go. And then push the back and everything should just slide in. There you go. Now that that's done, just gotta screw everything back into place. Before the computer goes back in its spot, it's a good idea to clean the area and make sure it's as dust-free as you can get it. There's no point in putting the computer back only to instantly have dust start clogging it again. Now it's time to return the machine back to its home. Time to connect everything back up. To me, this was the most annoying part, because underneath my desk is kind of a small space, and trying to connect all the peripherals again by touch, not so much fun. So let's end this video the same way we started, by pushing the power button. Oh, by the way, sorry for the Dutch angle on the computer, I swear I wasn't drunk. Anyway, this whole thing from beginning to end took about 2.5 hours, and as you can see, the computer seems to be booting up just fine. My guess was that all the dirt that I found inside, along with that loose power cable, is probably what caused the computer to not boot in the first place. So, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more misadventures in technology. This is Orlando the Computer Guy saying bye-bye.